would say the earliest memories of my dad when I was younger. He took us out of school, and me and my brother Josh and I went to the beach in Florida and we saw the Blue Angels. They were flying up in the sky and we had a picnic, and to me that was very special because we had some bonding time, but also it was a chance for us, for me and my brother, to be able to experience not only time with our dad, but also just some time to just kind of enjoy the beauties of what God has given us throughout the world and throughout this universe. One thing that I appreciate about my dad is how patient he is. That really makes a difference in our home. And from the time when I was born with a disability, and so my dad is a clinical psychologist. He went into that profession to better understand how he could help me out as his daughter, but also how he can make a difference in people's lives. So that's something that I really appreciate about my dad, that he does not only for me but for other people. I felt his love for me. There's so many good memories as kids, and my wedding day. That was very special. He gave me this picture and it's hanging up in my new home. This picture of Christ hugging a child, and it's called Sincerity, and it talks about how God will never leave you, how God will always be there for you no matter what. And on my wedding day, at my luncheon, he gave that to me, but it really made me appreciate him as a father. Not only as a father, but it made me appreciate the love that he had for me, because giving him away to someone else who will be the father figure in my home for me was a huge deal. But not only was that a huge deal for me, but it made me appreciate that I was able to be worthy enough to be sold to someone in the temple forever and have my family there. That has always given us advice of you can control who you date, but not who you fall in love with. And that is very true, because as a Latter-day Saints daughter, as a member of the church, when you date people, you're really close to people. And sometimes that phrase, you can control who you date, it's very true. But when you start falling in love with them, it's very difficult to get those feelings separated from them. And so it was taught us that you can control who you date, but not who you fall in love with. And with that saying, he's talking about how we need to choose wisely who we date and who we fall in love with, because who you date it's not a lifetime, but who you choose to fall in love with, that will have a huge effect not only on yourself, but with generations to come.
What are some of your dad's best qualities?
My dad's best qualities, he's a good listener, for one. Especially when I talk loud, that's pretty amazing. And then he's very patient. I've never seen my dad, the only time I've ever seen my dad raise his voice is once in my whole life, but he made a promise to me that he would never do that again, and he hasn't, and I really appreciate that. He's very gentle. I've always seen him being very gentle, being very soft-spoken. Another good quality about my dad is that he knows, he has the priesthood in our home, and that to me means a lot to me, because when I've ever needed a priesthood blessing, he's always there to give me one. So that is probably one of his best qualities, that he holds the priesthood he's worthy to honor his priesthood in our home, and that really makes a difference for our family. So, well, okay, first of all, I'm very hairy like my father. That is your fault, by the way, not mine, but yours. I would say one of the things I've taken from my dad is just being very spiritual in my home with my husband. He has always taught us to stand up for what is right as we go throughout life when it comes to dating or being friends with other people or learning how to say no when we're in a bad situation. I know one of my traits that I'm a lot like my dad is I'm very patient. I used to not be patient, but I'm learning how to be patient. I'm a lot like him by serving others, by giving them counsel like he did with me. And so I really appreciate those traits from him because it's made me feel like a better person in the outside but also in the inside. One funny thing about my dad, I would say, so one funny thing about my dad, and this is kind of like a very sweet thing too. Ever since me and my brothers and sister were younger, they were very affectionate as a married couple. So he would take off his glasses like Superman and get really cute with my mom, and I loved it because it was cute, and I really appreciate that because it made us know that dad still loved mom, mom still loved dad. Even though they're older, they still have affection for each other. But I really liked how he used to take off his glasses and nibble on mom's neck. That was just cute, you know, and funny at the same time. So, and they still do it and they still do it now. So, yep, there's still love. Gotta love this girl. He cares. He calls to see how we're doing. It just depends, you know. I think when we think of love, we think about caring and loving one another. But I can definitely see that about my dad. You know, I've had a hard life, you know, from the time I was little until now, and I can just tell that he loves me because of how I've made good choices and just by how I have a good influence on me and my new husband. And he loves me because I'm keeping the commandments, and he loves me because I'm doing what's right, and that's something that every father wants to see their kids do. And so he's just proud of us, and especially he's proud of me for making the goal to be sold in the temple and to be worthy to be sold in the temple, and to finally have a husband that I waited for 30 until I was 32, and then hopefully have grandkids down the road, which is hopefully gonna happen. We'll see. Okay, now you're 8 hours away, and you're probably missing all this. And I just would like to tell you how much I love you, and crying, loving you, and how much you've done a lot for our family. I'm grateful for the love that you have shown Mom, and that you've been there for her through all the cancers that she's gone through. I'm grateful for the many times that you've seen me cry and that you told me it's gonna be okay. I'm grateful that you are a clinical psychologist, because without you, I don't think any of us would survive our marriages. So, smart man you are! So I hope you have a good Father's Day, and just know that we all love you so much, and you are an amazing dad, and don't ever stop being you. You be the dad that we all love. So, love you.